There's an emerging technology growing in use among law enforcement, facial recognition, the technology that compares one image of a person to a known image to determine if there is a match. A number of law enforcement agencies already have the technology. Milwaukee police plan to be the next. And while the technology has its benefits, it does come with some risks depending on how it is used. It's the subject of many studies, including this one by Dr. Thaddeus Johnson, titled Police Facial Recognition Applications and Violent Crime Control in the U.S. Dr. Johnson is a senior fellow at the Council on Criminal Justice. He's also a former police sergeant. We're happy to have him with us today to discuss this important topic. Dr. Johnson, good afternoon to you. Can you tell me what prompted you to delve into this topic and what your key findings were?
No, thank you, first of all, for having us, and thank you for covering this important and timely topic. As a former police officer, as a black man who works in the criminal justice sphere, I'm always wondering, the effectiveness and equity aspect of different innovations. Well, I was looking at this technology and seeing how the past 20 years it's been used in our policing world, and there hadn't been really any real empirical studies on it. And so I wanted to dig in and see if what they were saying was true, that it leads to more racial disparities, and also seeing if it also could keep us safer.
And did you find that the part about racial disparities, did you find that in your research?
Yes, sir. So one thing that we found was that this technology helps lower homicide rates, and they can do so without increasing racial disparities for violent arrests. However, our former study found arrest disparities and overall arrests. And putting these two together, what we found was that there are increased racial disparities for property arrests, where there are increased rates of black arrests and lower rates of white arrests, and therefore it led to increased black-white gap when it came to property arrests.
And I want to point to one quote from your study which says they can also produce incorrect results, such as falsely pairing two different images, a false positive, or failing to match the same person in two different photos, a false negative. Both types of errors have the potential to negatively impact investigative efficacy, trust in the police, and community safety. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, facial recognition is not some magic bullet, right? It's not a direct match or a guarantee. It's a probability score. And what we find is by there not being any safeguards, by there not being any real guardrails or a national playbook, agencies are deciding on how high or low to set that threshold. And that can really determine the accuracy of your findings and who ends up on your list and who doesn't end up on your list. And so that was one of the big key things that we determined. We also found that many of these disparities occurred not because of the technology itself, but there are already underlying disparities within these agencies. And this technology exacerbated and codified disparities as opposed to producing disparities.
And Milwaukee Police, here, our largest policing agency in the state of Wisconsin, is pursuing this technology. They're working on drafting a policy as well as a contract with the company Biometrica. What do you make of their presentation? They're saying they want to only use booking photos that the department already has in its possession, compared to other software companies of facial recognition, which scrape photos from the internet, other public data sources, driver's license databases, and social media.
Well, the one issue is this. Most of the software developers in the U.S. are young white males, and we have this thing called on race bias. We all subconsciously do it. And so it means that many times these software are trained and learn on most of the majority white faces. And so if you're used, in the jail database is disproportionately black and brown faces. So it means that it's not being trained for someone perhaps like Biometrica, not being trained to develop on the actual faces that will be used against. Now, if it pulls from broader array of faces, maybe you can attain more accuracy and get within some of the racial issues, but then you have privacy concerns and how far is too far and what can and can they not use. So both sides has issues you need to work out with.
And real quickly, what about best practices in terms of developing policy, supervision, oversight, and training for police departments who use this technology?
Absolutely. First of all, to be trained on how to use the technology, trained on the probability scores, need to also be trained on the historical biases that can also automate the bias in their thinking and also how they're dealing with the citizens. You also need to be used for certain serious, egregious cases, supervisory sign out. You need to make sure that they're also, if they're going to use it in a court case, that these things are being disclosed to the defendants, that AI and facial recognition was used to assist this technology. Right now, we don't have those laws in place. So we need guardrails at both for the police, but also when it's being used as evidence, we need to make sure that there's disclosures when it comes to criminal cases.
Some powerful, important insight and information. Dr. Thaddeus Johnson, thank you so much for your time and your expertise here on this subject.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And facial recognition is the subject of a special report tonight on 12 News at 6. The plan for Milwaukee police to use this technology and the work they are doing to ensure it does not infringe on someone's rights. 12 News investigates tonight at 6.